My name's Leslie Peterson, and I help bloggers turn their modest websites into thriving online enterprises with SEO, email marketing, and a little hard love encouragement to always move forward consistently and with a plan. Hey bloggers, have you ever worked on keyword research or began to implement SEO strategies and felt a little inauthentic when you were doing it? That's what I want to talk with you about today. The first time I heard this was when I spoke at TBEX back in 2017, so quite a long time ago. I was sharing my story of SEO and the basic strategies that I take when it comes to putting a new article together, and I took questions from the audience. And I had about 2 or 3 people out of, 60 or 70 that said they really felt inauthentic when they were doing SEO or when they were doing keyword research. And I'll admit, I've never felt that way. And it's probably because I look at these activities with a different set of glasses. And I want to talk with you about that today. I want to tell you the 3 reasons why I think it's not inauthentic, why I think it's a beautiful strategy, and why I hope that you will consider changing your mindset as you move forward as a blogger. So let's start with the first one. This is your business. Absolutely. You own this website and it is your business. But what's amazing about business is that the best ones are not about you, the owner. You as the owner, you're a part of it. Your brand is a major, major influence in how you show yourself to the world, but not your product. Your product, in this case, your articles, is about the customer, not about you. Imagine, if you will, these famous designers. So if you're not familiar with them, forgive me, but I think about Kate Spade and the colorful, beautiful range of fabrics that she's famous for. Or Ralph Lauren, who's known for this sort of polished, preppy look. That's their brand. That's their voice. But their product is made for people. Imagine if Ralph Lauren said, well, I'm a man, so I'm only going to make clothes for men. Or he said, I'm a size 38 pants. I'm only going to make size 38 pants because I want to be true to me. That's silly, right? Well, that's the same thing with your business. Your brand is all about you. The way that you share a message, the perspective that you bring to the table, that's all about you. But the product has to be for the customer. When we do keyword research right, when we do SEO right, that's really what we're driving for. We're driving for a better customer experience. And there's nothing lame or inauthentic about that. The second reason why I truly believe that SEO strategy and keyword research are not tricks is because they're demonstrations of the supply and demand model, which is business management 101. Imagine if you went to a baseball game to watch your favorite team play baseball, and the people who walk up and down the stand selling drinks. Imagine if they weren't selling beer. Imagine if they were selling juice packs. I mean, wouldn't that be really, really strange? Or imagine, I live here in Denver. What if I went to Mile High Stadium and the management who runs the concessions there said, well, we're not really interested in knowing how many people want burgers and fries and beer and popcorn. We just don't like those things. So we're just going to do, something completely different. And while there might be a couple people who enjoy that and they might get some publicity and notoriety for doing something different, it's not a sustainable business model. People have an expectation of what they're going to have available to them. There is a demand for certain products at a baseball game. You're not going to have a baseball stadium not selling hot dogs. You're not going to have a baseball stadium that doesn't sell beer. And that's really just about supply and demand. There's a demand, and that's why there's a supply. When I open up my keyword tool of choice and I look at the monthly search volume, that is just an indication of demand. It's how many people in my audience, in this case for me, the United States, are demanding information on a particular topic. How many of them are asking the question? And when I look at keyword difficulty, well, that's an indication of supply. If there's not a lot of supply, it's not as difficult to win on that term. And if there's a lot of supply, especially if the supply is by more prestigious brands, then it becomes harder for me to win on that term. So when you look at keyword research as what's the supply and what's the demand, then you're just looking at the sale of information or the availability of information through the lens of a business management, glasses. That's the second time I've used that analogy, but it's true. You're just looking at the supply-demand model. And I can't imagine any other business in the world expecting to move ahead, asking for VC money, expecting to get paid, wanting to pay their employees, make a living, be around tomorrow without looking at the supply and demand model. So there's nothing lame and nothing inauthentic about doing that. Even the most philanthropic of organizations are going to do that so that they can be good stewards of their time and their resources. And then let's jump in the third reason why I don't think it's lame or inauthentic. And that's because your perspective, the special sauce that you bring to the table, is so valuable. It's what you were called to do, to share your perspective, whether it's travel or recipes or parenting or books or gardening. I can't even think of all of the different niches right now. It doesn't matter what the niche is. Your perspective, your unique view or angle or take on that particular topic is so valuable. And in order to get it out there into the world for people to learn from and appreciate, you're going to have to follow some of the rules. I think about Dr. Alexander Fleming, who's the person who discovered penicillin. Many people say he invented penicillin. He likes to say, I didn't invent it. It was always there. I just discovered it. But he was a researcher. And what if he discovered penicillin and the value and the amazing magic that comes with this drug that practically changed the course of humanity? And he said, you know what, I got to write this research up, but I don't really want to follow the rules of the major medical journals because I'm not really interested in their rules. I'm going to write it my way. And then the journals never picked it up and that information never got out because he didn't want to follow the rules. Well, that's the same thing with your content. You might not have discovered penicillin, but your message and your perspective is still really important to the world. And when you can understand SEO, when you can understand keyword research, when you can understand how to offer content to the very people who are demanding answers to those questions, and at the same time deliver your unique voice, your unique brand, your unique perspective, well, then you've moved into the very world of authenticity. You are bringing that beautiful angle, sharing your unique perspective, and you didn't let your ego swallow you up in an effort to get there. So if you want your blog to be a diary, well, that's a completely different story. That's 100% A-okay. But if you're trying to build a business that helps people and that doesn't ignore the actual questions that people have, then you're going to need to do keyword research. You're going to need to understand SEO. That's the very thing that the research tells you. Put your brand on it. Put your spin on it. Whether it's a preppy turtleneck sweater or bright, beautiful colors, it doesn't matter. It's all yours. But the customer, the reader, is front and foremost. So steep yourself in a solid understanding of the information supply and demand model that's going to allow you to get your beautiful perspective out into the world.